Hi, I'm Sarah, and I would like to tell you about an unforgettable summer vacation we had in Sri Lanka in 2007. I was 11 years old at the time, and my family and I had planned a vacation in Sri Lanka to visit our relatives and enjoy delicious food. One day, my uncle and cousin and we decided to visit a temple on the southeast coast of Sri Lanka. We prayed at the temple, fed the sacred cows, and enjoyed delicious temple food. My father cut his hair, a traditional ritual when someone wishes someone the best. It was quite a fun family day. No complaint, but as the sun was setting, my uncle and father decided to find a motel for the night's accommodation. They found a motel in the nearby temple, but it was far from the city in a very dry area, with only dry, dusty land behind it, as I recall. But despite the location and the age of building, it was in good condition. We rented 2 rooms on the 5th floor, one for our family and the other for my uncle's family. Our rooms were small, but enough for a family of 5. There was a king-size bed and a single bed. There was a TV right in front of the big bed and a bathroom with a small window next to it. After settling into the rooms, we went into town for dinner and returned to your motel around 10 p.m. My 19-year-old oldest sister and 9-year-old brother slept together in the big bed, while my parents slept in the bed next to us. We were all very tired from the heat and hoped to sleep comfortably through the night. The next day we had to get up early, so my mom told us to go to bed right away. At an hour I can't remember, round midnight, I heard a noise from the end of my bed in front of the dresser. The moonlight was shining faintly, so I could barely see my father pulling something out of his wallet. I didn't think about it afterwards, but I was still wondering why he had to do it at midnight. I went back to sleep and didn't think much about it. A few hours later, I woke up again, awakened by the screams and horrible noises of my aunt in the next room. When I looked to the right, there was no one in our mother's bed. As my aunt's screams could be heard, my mother rushed into our room, took off the wedding chain around her neck, and threw it under the bed. At this point, a wedding chain refers to a marriage ring, which in our culture is a sacred chain and very precious. After a while, my mother went back to my aunt's room, and when I looked to the right, I saw that my brother and sister were also awake. I asked my sister what had happened, but she didn't know what had happened and was trying to comfort us. After 5 minutes, my mom came in and hugged us tightly. We weren't crying, but we were incredibly scared. Our hearts were beating out of our chests. I don't know exactly how it is in Western region, but originally we lived in Switzerland. But I have noticed that women in places like Sri Lanka or in southern part of India tend to show these kinds of heavy emotional reactions very loudly. When they are children, this can be quite disturbing for children, especially my aunt crying out in pain. An hour later, my mother told us to go back to sleep because we were very tired and had to get up early the next day. We went to sleep shaking with fear. The next morning, my mom and dad were talking about the incident. My mother told us that a thief had entered my uncle's room through the top floor window during the night and stole my aunt's $5,000 wedding chain and the key to our van. My uncle was awakened by a noise coming from the bathroom and caught the thief escaping through the window. When he tried to catch him, the thief fell out of the window and disappeared into the wheat field. They followed him into the wheat field but could not find him. The man ran away and even the police could not find him. Fortunately, we had a spare key for us and we packed everything and went straight home. However, my uncle wanted to check if the thief had left anything behind. Maybe we could find a clue, but despite all our efforts, we found nothing. My aunt was upset and hardly spoke. She was very affected by the incident. On the way home, my father checked his wallet to make sure everything was complete and realized that a small photo of him and some cash were missing. It was then that I realized that the man in front of the dresser was not my father father at midnight, but in fact the thief of the moment. I don't even want to think about what would have happened if that man had realized that I was awake and looking at him. It was a scary night, and since the day I always lock the door and window of my hotel room and use the safety latch. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel to be informed about more. Thanks.